This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor as Kyle and Mark Corrigan discuss key components for good management practices and profitability in the beef industry.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I have the opportunity to visit with Mark Corrigan with Merck Animal Health. Mark, what are some of the key components for good management practices and profitability in the beef industry?
Well, that's a good question. I think as we talk about different segments of the industry, the ones that I deal with mostly are feed yards and stockers. And as we talk about what brings profitability to those operations, two of the main practices are going to be implanting cattle. Certainly that's one of the largest returns on investments that we can get in terms of pharmaceutical products we can use. The other thing that I think is important to understand is proper deworming of cattle. Once we build a foundation of a health program and a nutrition program, we want to make sure that those cattle are able to respond to that program. And if those cattle are heavily parasitized, they're just not going to be able to really respond to those programs the way that they should.
And unlike exterior parasite control, interior you can't tell by looking, and yet that animal's struggling.
Yes, that's very true. Certainly we can use some things like fecal egg count reduction tests to tell us about the efficacy and something about that animal's internal parasite load. But the reality is we just need to make sure that our program that we're using is able to deal with those parasites in a way that, again, is going to allow them to respond to whatever health or nutrition program that we've designed for them.
And designing a program for the cattle makes a difference, because it makes a difference where they've come from and their age and where they're going to go as to what you need to do.
Yeah, that's very true. Certainly if we get animals in high stress situations, at times those animals are going to have different requirements. Certainly high stress animals consume less feed, so we're going to have to increase the concentration of certain nutrients in their feed so that we're sure to meet their requirements. So yeah, understanding something about where those cattle have come from and what they've been treated with or how they've been handled prior to when we get them is extremely important.
One thing we don't realize as well is the parasite control adds to that stress on an animal, which affects performance.
That's very true. I have a colleague that likes to say, they're called parasites for a reason. They don't do anything good for the animal. They increase or decrease intake in those animals. They increase their nutrient requirements, and then they also decrease the absorption of nutrients that those animals consume. So realistically, from that standpoint, a heavily parasitized animal actually needs even more nutrition, I guess you could say, than one that's not.
We're visiting with Mark Corrigan. He's with Merck Animal Health. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Come back after the break for this week's Plain Talk.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.